All right, Steve. Let's do it. New England Patriots.
What a disaster.
No, the Giants are a disaster. New England isn't yet.
Look,
They'll fix it.
As a New England fan, I mean, I was a fan way back in the Steve Grogan days, right? So, I mean, I've seen a lot of bad New England Patriots football before because I was a fan from about 1984, 85, right? So we had a lot of ugliness there. We did get to that Super Bowl and to get our asses kicked by the Bears, if I remember correctly. But
yep.
But look, we got very spoiled. We had 20 years of excellent football, right? Just incredibly high level, well executed. We got really, really spoiled. We knew when Brady left. I mean, yeah, you have your delusional New England fans, but you have delusional fans everywhere, right?
Right.
But I think the vast majority of us were kind of like, okay, this is going to be rough. We're going to have 2-3 years. It's a total rebuild. I think the part that's so upsetting is here we are 4+ years later, and it just feels like the team's just regressed at every single level. It's obviously you want your team to win, but as a fan, what you really want is you want to see them play well and get beaten, right? If you're in the game and you're playing well and you're doing your thing,
right.
You're like, okay, we didn't win, but we played well. I can't say that the Patriots have played well in any single game. Well, those first two couple where they were like in it with the Eagles and they were in it with Miami, it was better. But the 7 games since have been just utter crap, even the ones we won. And it's a mess. And you got everybody questioning everything. Now, last I checked, out of the 53-man roster, 22 people are on the injured list, right? So we have a lot of starters out. Mac Jones, he just makes the worst decisions at the worst time. You know what I mean? It's like Brett Favre without the good parts of Brett Favre, right?
Yeah.
So you got the terrible boneheaded interceptions from Brett Favre, the bad decisions, but he was also the guy that could march you down the field and win a game, with just 2 or 3 passes. So we got all the bad part of Brett Favre and none of the good part of Brett Favre, And I feel bad even mentioning Brett's name and the name Mac Jones, but just kind of as try to exemplify it. I mean, yeah, it's an utter mess. And you got people, now saying they want Belichick to go, but it's just.
Well, I think Belichick, and this is a bad year. I think he's entitled to a bad year. I mean, I know there were some years that weren't great, but this is a bad year. I would give him the bad year and give him one more year after this. I mean, he's been there for a long time, and he can win. You can win. They've got to make some changes.
I think the diehard fans agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that, look, the internet's never a way to judge anything, right? Because you're always seeing the 1%ers that are, hey, put his head on a spike guys. Yeah. I think the problem, too, is we also just know how dismal it is because you invested in this quarterback hoping he was going to be the next one. You're not going to get another Tom Brady. Let's just write that off, right? I mean,
not right.
The number of players that come around like that are so rare. I mean, I think in his case, incredibly rare. And we all know it's just a combination of work ethic and dedication in a way that very few modern rich athletes are willing to do after they win championships. He's a freak of nature in that way. But we ended up with a real dud, it appears.
But how many people said it was a great, wow, the Patriots got up and got Mac Jones. I mean, it just didn't work out. I can't.
He was runner-up for Rookie of the Year in his first season, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He went to the Pro Bowl his first season. And it's just, but he's looked perpetually worse every year since.
He's also gone through multiple offensive coordinators, which if you look at the history of football,
that's a bad thing on quarterbacks. Isn't on the field when you're throwing that boneheaded interception.
I get it. I get it. I agree. I get it.
You can say all that, but I mean, we've had so many crippling interceptions that are just made because he makes a really bad decision instead of eating the ball. I mean, look, I don't blame it on quarterbacks when you get the touch interception. It comes off the hands of the receiver, right?
Sure.
That's fluky. That happens. He was there. Maybe he didn't throw the ball perfect, but it was there. But I'm talking about literally, he's targeting somebody else's cornerback and passing them the ball. I mean, it's I mean, just the last game. I mean, that interception at the end was just like, are you kidding me? And even him, you saw him on the field. He literally dropped to his knees and he put his head on his helmet in despair because he's like, oh my God, it happened again.
I did it again. Right.